Alright, so this is Saxon Course 2, Lesson 11, Problems about Comparing and Elapsed Time Problems. So first we have, during the day, 1,320 employees work at the toy factory. At night, 897 employees work there. How many more employees work at the factory during the day than at night? When I'm comparing two numbers, I often end up with a greater number and a lesser number, and I want to figure out what the difference is. So in this case, my greater number is 1,320, and my lesser number is 897. So to find the difference, I will be subtracting these two numbers. So 1,320 minus 897. Okay. Can't take 7 from 0, so borrow from the 2. 2 becomes a 1. 0 becomes a 10. 10 minus 7 is 3. Can't take 9 away from 1, borrow from the 3. 3 becomes a 2. 1 becomes an 11. 11 minus 9 is 2. Can't take 8 from 2, so borrow from the 1. 1 becomes a 0. 2 becomes a 12. 12 minus 8 is 4. So my answer is 423 employees. This next one, the number 620,000 is how much less than 1 million? So again, I have that greater amount minus a lesser amount to figure out my difference. So my greater amount would be 1 million minus my lesser amount, which is 620,000. To figure out what the difference is. Okay, so we have 0, 0, 0, comma, 0, and I'm going to start borrowing. So I'm going to come all the way over to the 1. 1 becomes 0. This becomes a 10, which we have to borrow 1 from for this number, 10. Alright, 10 minus 2 is 8, 9 minus 6 is 3. So my answer is 380,000. How much less it is. This next part is on elapsed time. With elapsed time, we want to take the later date and subtract the earlier date. So it's later date minus the earlier date to figure out the difference. So here, my later date is 1776, because it's later. My earlier date is 1492. So 1776 minus 1492. And I'm going to just subtract them. 6 minus 2 is 4. 7 minus 9, can't do that. I'm going to borrow. 17 minus 9 is 8. 6 minus 4 is 2. And then 0. So my answer is 284 years difference. Okay, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was 34 years old in 1963 when he delivered his I Have a Dream speech. In what year was he born? So on this one, again, I have that later minus earlier equals my difference. So I know that my later year is going to be this 1963 because that's not the year he was born. So it's going to be 1963 minus the earlier year equals 34 years old. Okay. So to find the missing number, I'm going to do 1963 minus 34 to figure out what year he was born. So I'm going to borrow from the 6. 3 becomes 13. 13 minus 4 is 9. 5 minus 3 is 2. And then 9, 1. So he was born in 1929. To double check, you can always put this year in for earlier to see if you get 34 years. Okay. That's it for this lesson.